be. You can be a superhero if you want to, just by doing what you do regularly or being the best at that. Or if you take care of your kids, or you have people that count on you and depend on you, and you're there for them. You have to be able to realize you got to be happy with who you are, who you're growing to be, as long as it's the right person that you want to be and the person you're growing into that can help other people. And nobody can put a label on what your success needs to be, because you're the only person who's going to benefit off of that success. So as long as you have your ideas of what success is, don't let anybody tell you anything different on what that needs to be. You're successful.
That's right.
I'm successful. Everybody we're associated with can be successful as long as they stay true to themselves.
Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah. That's like 100% right there, bro. I gotta agree with you right there, man. And what was I gonna tell you? So tell me a little bit about your back, like your ancestry, like your we all come here from from somewhere.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your roots, your grandma, your grandpa.
Well,
we going through some tough times nowadays. Like what can you tell people to from an artist perspective and your perspective, how can we create that balance? What can we tell someone that's gonna bring understanding and peace and love to their heart, at the same time educating people about, for example, right now, there's a lot of racial tension, and it's always really been there. And for people like myself and yourself, for me, it's created obstacles growing up. I felt like some of the times when I was growing up, I was being treated unfair, but I didn't really know what was happening. As a teen, being pulled over by the police, being sat on the curb and handcuffed and asked all these bunch of questions when I'm a minor, my parents aren't around, without me doing anything. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Yeah, I've experienced that before. It's definitely one of those things that you don't forget about. It's definitely a lot of stress and a lot of exacerbating emotions you go through just because it happens so fast. It's not like you had time to think about, well, if this is going to happen today, I know what I'm going to do. It just happens. So a lot of times when you come across these situations, everything that's been happening to you before that kind of prepares you, like the things your parents tell you before you go outside, or the things that they tell you in school, or people you interact with, in determining how you go about walking in broader society always shapes you, and you kind of get tested in those moments. So for me, I've had the experiences similar to what you just said, and I took it as, well, I know I'm not the only young black person this is happening to.
Right.
So how can I, on a collective standpoint with everybody else I'm associated and related with, how can I put out the energy and change in the world that needs to happen?
The
if
balance,
I do it,
right?
Exactly. That's where the balance is. If I do it, even if nobody else sees it, it's out in the universe that this is one way to handle this situation.
Yeah.
And the thought process we all go through is very quick in those moments, like I said. So in order for you to feel safe or feel like you can get out of it without any major repercussions, you kind of have to just do good every chance you get, or do what you feel is right at that moment, and kind of reflect and think about it later. Everybody gets caught up in good, bad, right, wrong, and a lot of things that, polarize them when you're supposed to live and do what you feel and experience. It all starts at the heart. You have to be rooted in the heart and then expand to your mind so you can start at that foundation like we were talking about, and have everything clean from your heart. And when you think about these situations and do what you do, it all come from the heart. It's not coming from a place of what external things were putting you, how you were told to be, how you're told to treat these people if they act like a certain way to you. And all of it really starts with you. You have to be the change you want to see, like they always say.
Right. Right, man. Hey, how old are you? Do you mind me asking how old are you?
I'm 21.
You're 21. Right on. Yeah.
I'm about to be 22 in September.
22.
Yeah.
So what'd you do for your 21st birthday? Anything special? I mean, that's a really special number.
I
that.
I didn't do a thing. I was at a.
Or you can't tell right now. It's like
no. The weekend of my birthday, I was at a traveling football game with my team at Cal Lutheran, and then the next day I had practice, all that good stuff.
So you play ball at Cal Lutheran?
Yeah,
right
I do.
On.
Yeah. It's been the reason I actually got into Cal was for football, and a lot of things I've learned doing that, or just people I met in that, have also helped me, fulfill my purpose in other areas. So, like I said, I don't regret decisions upon, doing them, just because even if it was wrong in that moment, or if it turned out to I could have done something better, I learned from that still. And who's to say I was supposed to be at this point by this time when I might have needed to take that journey. So I appreciate it all.
Right on, right on. So talk to me a little bit about your music. What influences your music? How many songs you have an album out, or?
Yeah, I have an album out. I have an EP out right now. I have a whole bunch of singles from SoundCloud to like major streaming platforms. I've been releasing music since late 2017. I've been, dropping my own freestyles, videos, just engaging content since 2016. So I've been doing what I like to do with my music, and as I'm growing, I'm deciding that there's more that I can do. Even sometimes you shelter your own self just because you're afraid of how good you can actually be, and you're not sure what the greatness is like. So you kind of stay in that bubble of, well, I can just be this or do these things, and if nobody pays attention, that's good, because at least I didn't fail and get all this accolades and all these things and was brought back down. So I'm learning at this very moment that I need to take off. I need to shoot to the stars. I need to do everything that I said I would do, and not be afraid of falling on the way down, because like I said, you can't regret any of the movements you make. You just learn from them and then make the better movements after that. And right now with my music, that's all I'm trying to embody. I'm trying to give messages about these things. I'm trying to socially and consciously make people aware of what's going on and how you can rearrange your mind and feel about it and go about doing things in a certain way. And it always grows and changes with me. I never stick to one topic all the time. I'm lyrically driven, though. I always make sure I'm lyrically inspired by people like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Ab-Soul, like people from my area and my field of work that always have put themselves out there to be very, message driven.
Nice. So when you say message driven, do you consider yourself to be like very like an activist type type lyricist, or like your storytelling?
I'm not your typical activist, but I would consider it activist.
Somewhere down that lane.
Yeah. I only say it's not typical.
So there was something that went down at Cal. Was it last? It was last year that went down.
Yeah,
right?
It was early in 2019, like February 2019.
So, were you there? Or?
I was at the forefront of that, yes. I'm the president of BSU at Cal Lutheran, so the incident that occurred was between a black student in BSU and some non-black students who, did racial slurs, racial actions, and it kind of exploded when it went to social media. And in terms of what we wanted to do about it, there's been a lot of things that happened at the school that were either getting swept under the rug or not getting the justice to it. So we decided to keep it out in the limelight and make sure people knew about it, because there's a level of accountability that you can't avoid once it's out there to the public. And that's basically what I was helping do along with my BSU cabinet and other members. Shout out to y'all, Taylor and Zeno. I rock with y'all. Shout out to all the other people who helped me out. I really appreciate the idea that we all knew there was a collective battle and a collective effort we needed to put into this that couldn't, like, everything else got put to the side when that happened. There's a lot of things we could have just focused on personally, let all that die down, but we didn't want to, and we're still not letting it, because it still hasn't been fully finished and served out.
No corrective action has been taken, or
not completely. No, there was incidents where a lot of other things trickled afterwards, and we were in the movement of doing a lot of good things, but of course COVID-19 came in mid-March and put everybody in quarantine. And forced us to move off campus. Things got a little different from how we were approaching what we were trying to get done, but it's still an active work, and we're not stopping. At least I'm not stopping until it's really settled. I know I'm gonna leave very soon, but we're putting all this information, this fight, this strength and work into the generations after us who know for a fact, or we know for a fact, can continue the work.
Right on, right on. So one of your songs, one of the songs that I was listening to, it's called Groovin' or Groovy.
Yeah,
Groovy. Yeah, talk to me about that song. What inspired that song? I mean, that one's what's the message behind that one right there?
Once again, shout out to my guy Darsh. He produced that whole thing. It was a no-brainer as soon as he sent me the production, because that's how I felt. I literally was like, oh, this is groovy. I'm gonna make a song
about a groovy track,
how groovy I am, how groovy you can be, or how groovy like life is for us right now. So the inspiration behind it was just that. It was to make sure people felt good. It was a a nice vibe, something you could bump in your ride, you know. And the entire time it took to make it really helped me figure out how serious I was in my music, because it was given to me in around like spring of 2018, and I ended up putting it out this year in 2020. So it wasn't like something I just wanted to throw out there just to rush and have out. I definitely took my time with this. We got all the musicians on that who play it live to come together in the studio either at the same time or one time at another, and we put it all together. We had it mixed and mastered a whole bunch of different times just to make sure it was perfect, and I'm happy with the product. I know I'm going to grow from that, but that is a stamp and a milestone for me. And I know for a fact people are gonna go back when I am famous and listen to that song. It's like, oh, he's been doing this for a very long time. This wasn't just something we just started hearing. He's been trying to put out great work from the moment he put stuff out.
Yeah, I will forever remember that song because that's the first song I heard. You know, my daughter was playing it, and I was like, what is she listening to? You know, and then that's when she told me, so this is UraelB, Dad. You know, and I was like, wow, you know, like I thought you were listening to like, you know, just regular Pandora or whatever. But you know, I mean, you're on all these, you know.
Yeah, I'm on all the platforms. Yeah, you can find me everywhere.
Yeah, so it sounds like it belongs there, man. I mean, it's a great track, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations on it.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best success on your future and everything that you do, man. Because that's what we need to do is love and support each other, and that's what we keeps the world going. You know, it's not money, it's not none of that stuff. It's love, man. It comes down to loving each other and being there for each other and supporting each other, and that's what makes everything grow. You know, attending to each other. You know, as a community. You know, exactly. Our neighbors. You know, our family. You know, that's what it comes down to. And and I keep saying. I keep telling people, we contribute the way we know how. I was just talking to you about, shout out to my boy Tom McLean. He's a comedian, and I've been helping him out with his Giggle show, and we bring comedy to the community. We bring the community together, and we bring some laughter to them and stuff like that. And so it's just the way we contribute, and I just want to thank you for what you do. UraelB. If you're just tuning in. This is UraelB right here with SoulCal Music Entertainment. UraelB, live and direct. And pretty soon he's going to be performing for us a couple of his tracks, right? Yeah. So, I'm excited for that. And anything else you want to talk about, man, before we get to your performance and we get to enjoy some live tunes? What's in your mind? I mean, I kind of just want to just sit here and talk all day, all night, and get to know you. You know what I mean, and talk about whatever you want, sports or whatnot. But what are some important topics in your mind right now that you wanna? What's your message that you want, to send out? Take this opportunity to and just send out your message and say, you know what. I don't know, like fill in the blank,
All
but
right.
Yeah, man, feel free. Take the mic.
This is my message. Hear me out. Okay, hear me out. You're golden. Remember that. Believe that in your heart. Every experience you have, no matter what trip it is, no matter what you do with your journey, you have to remember that you are golden. There's something I like to call myself, which is the Black Thor. I told you, like, you can be a superhero no matter what you do, no matter how you envision it. When you're sleeping, you're in that REM stage, and you want to feel like the world you're imagining in your sleep, it can come to reality. Remember, it can. Remember, you always have the ability to step into your God body. We're all divine. We all have powers that we can do anything we put our minds to with. Like I said, root yourself in the heart. Don't forget, the golden era is on its way. Remain golden. Remain groovy. I'm ready to get to it.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, fam. So we're going to take a little break.
Yep.
And when we come back, UraelB is going to be performing some music for us. And stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yeah.